The Western media is putting its hideous true colors on full display again this week, casting Chinese-American Eileen Gu as the villain of the Milan Winter Olympics. The 22-year-old freestyle skiing prodigy was born in the United States, but decided to represent China, leading to accusations of being a traitor amid an ever-strained geopolitical relationship between the world's two largest economies. This time, the media have accused her of criticizing Donald Trump while remaining silent on China, an accusation that is, you guessed it, completely fabricated. Some Americans have even celebrated her losing at her first event, labeling her failure to secure gold so far as the best part of the Milan Winter Olympics. Well, they are in for a shock. Today we'll go beyond the propaganda and look at all the details. This is Reports on China. I'm Andy Borheim here in Shanghai. Let's get reporting. "22-year-old Olympic superstar Eileen Gu is facing attacks from US media and pundits this week, who are calling her a villain and a traitor for choosing to represent China and not the United States on the Winter Olympic slopes. It's similar to what we saw at the 2022 Games, but this time they're on steroids. And here I was thinking that was a banned substance. Currently, US media are attacking Eileen for speaking out against President Trump while staying silent about whatever they're claiming is happening in China. The New York Post ran with the headline, "Eileen Gu, American-born Olympic star who competes for China, slams Trump for criticizing skier Hunter Hess." They wrote, Chinese Olympic star Eileen Gu condemned President Trump's harsh criticism of American skier Hunter Hess after he expressed mixed emotions about representing the US at the 2026 Winter Olympics in Milan Cortina. Fox News added, Eileen Gu garners backlash for commenting on Trump's statement while representing China. Gu has never spoken out against China's alleged human rights abuses. Don't worry, I'll get into those supposed human rights abuses shortly. So it sounds like Eileen really stepped over the line and politicized the Games to make a comment on President Trump, right? Ha, you guessed it. That is a complete fabrication. Eileen never even mentioned President Trump's name and was instead responding to a reporter's question about her friend, fellow athlete Hunter Hess, who Trump called a real loser. In trying to deflect the question and stay out of the political mess, Eileen had what I thought was a really good answer. She said of the scandals surrounding her friend and President Trump, "I'm sorry that the headline that is eclipsing the Olympics has to be something so unrelated to the spirit of the Games. It really runs contrary to everything the Olympics should be. The whole point of sport is to bring people together. One of the very few common languages, that of the human body, that of the human spirit, the competitive spirit, the capacity to break not only records, but especially in our sport, literally the human limit. How wonderful is that?" And that's it. That was the extent of her comment. No mention of Trump, no criticism of Trump. If anything, it was a criticism of Western media, who just love to turn every single thing, including the Olympics, into a bloody scandal. And that's exactly what they did to her here, turning her completely fair and neutral comment about enjoying the Games over politics into, well, a political attack. I guess that's par for the course with Western media, where scandal and confrontation are the name of the game. And it worked, sending American netizens into a vile uproar. One ex-user wrote, "Let's hope this traitor crashes and burns in the rest of her events." Another called Eileen a China-loving traitor, adding, "This coddled little ski princess thinks she's deep by criticizing Trump's condemnation of American skiers who don't want to represent America." Yet another asked, what does she have to say about China's well-documented human rights abuses? Has any journalist asked her about Jimmy Lai? So let's see what those human rights abuses are. Firstly, Jimmy Lai. Well, I've done 2 videos on him already, but I'll add this. Jimmy Lai was not charged with defending democracy or exercising his freedom of speech. He was found guilty of 2 counts of conspiracy to collude with foreign forces and one count of conspiracy to publish seditious materials, crimes that would also attract 20 years behind bars in the US. Fox News details some more supposed human rights abuses in China that they think Eileen Gu should speak out about. They wrote, Gu has never spoken up publicly against China's alleged human rights abuses, including the nation's alleged systemic campaign of suppression against Uyghurs and other predominantly Muslim ethnic minorities in the Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region. LOL. There is not and was never any genocide against the Uyghur people or anyone else in Xinjiang. Those claims have been debunked so many times that it is laughable Western media are still bringing them up. Don't believe me? Buy a plane ticket today and go to Xinjiang to look for yourself. Now, I mentioned before that many American netizens had celebrated Eileen failing to secure gold in her first Milan Winter Olympics event and how they were in for a real surprise. Well, Eileen was not even expected to win gold at that event, securing silver instead, which, believe it or not, is seen as a sign that she's in top form to win gold in her two following events, the women's free ski big air and women's free ski half pipe. In fact, the event she just won silver for in Milan, the women's free ski slopestyle, is exactly the event she won silver for at the last Winter Olympics. Eileen's final two events are set to take place on the 14th and 19th to 21st. I have my fingers crossed. And on that note, that will be all for today, you guys. But as always, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you think Eileen will go on to secure gold at her final two events? And how do you think the Western media will react? Do let me know down below, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really does help the channel. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.